Kyodo News English World。
皆さんこんにちは。こちらは共同通信英文記者のポッドキャストです。英文記者は国内外で起きている出来事について取材してオリジナルの英文記事を発信したり、日本語のニュースを英語に翻訳したりしています。共同通信の英語の記事をテーマに、いろんな国から集まる仲間たちと英語と日本語を交えていろいろ楽しくおしゃべりしていけたらと思っています。今日は3人の記者でお届けします。私は堀内純子と申します。2009年に共同通信社に入社しました。2年ほど松江支局で日本語の記者もやっていました。よろしくお願いします。
Hi, my name is Jim Allen, and I've been writing about baseball since 1994, so more than 30 years. And I've been working with Kyodo News, reporting, writing, and translating about sports, mostly Japanese baseball, since 2012.
はい、山口祐希と申します。2021年に、英文記者の部署である海外部に移動してきました。それまでは日本語で記事を書いていました。現在は、経済を主に担当しています。よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。今日の記事ですけれども、大谷翔平が MVP に選ばれたという記事です。すごく話題になったと思うんですけれども、ジムさん、記事の見出しを読んでいただけますか。
Okay, it's Ohtani unanimously wins third MVP and first as a DH.
2021年、2023年に続き、3度目の選出で MVP を取ったということで、それは指名打者専任では史上初ということだったと思うんですけれども、記事の最初の2パラを読んでいただけますか。
Shohei Ohtani, the only player to unanimously win 2 MVP awards in Major League Baseball, made it 3 on Thursday when each of the 30 voters made him their first choice for the National League's top honor. Ohtani, the American League's unanimous MVP in 2021 and 2023 as a two-way player with the Los Angeles Angels, did not pitch this year, his first with the Los Angeles Dodgers, after shoulder surgery in September 23. He becomes the first primary designated hitter to win the MVP award.
ありがとうございます。指名打者専任で史上初ということなんですけど、これの凄さってどういうところにあるんでしょうか。すごい基本的な質問ですけど。
Yeah, it is unusual. Well, obviously it's the first time. We've had a few players who were frequently designated hitters, who but outfielders are first basemen. But because there is a bias towards players who play in the field and who have a defensive position, I think a lot of people, and myself included, didn't expect Ohtani to be a unanimous selection because there was a shortstop a very good shortstop for another team who was putting up very large offensive numbers.
今までですとやっぱり守備に入っている人の方が取るとか。
まあそうですね。
そうですか。
Yeah, そうですね。だから it's been usually pitchers or fielders, but I think how much a player contributes on offense is generally the biggest decision. But if they're not a fielder, people ask, what's up? How come, he's not contributing on the other side?
なるほど。
Now, in Ohtani's previous MVP awards, he was doing more than just contributing in the field. He was a two-way player. He was pitching. So he was winning 9 or 10 games as a pitcher and striking out so many batters and then doing the same on offense. So it was a very easy choice. I think this time was a slightly more difficult choice, but his September was so amazing that the voters had no doubt.
なるほどですね。
なるほど。
MVP なんですけど、すいません、あまりなんかMLB とか全然詳しくなくて申し訳ないんですけども、どうやって MVP を決めてるんですか？
Well, in America there are 30 teams and 2 leagues of 15 teams, and each league the award voting is done by members of the Baseball Writers of America, and the local chapter of the union selects 2 writers for each award to vote. Now, and so there are 30 voters in each league. And for the MVP, they vote, I believe, 1 to 7 or 1 to 10. They rank the players, and then each player gets points. I think the first place vote is 15, and the second place vote is 8 or 9, and so on down until the last vote is 1 point.
なるほどですね。
And so he got a unanimous vote. He didn't get all the points, but he got all the first place votes. He got the maximum number of points.
なるほどですね。大谷選手よくなんか二刀流でなんか two-way player って言われますけども、それってなんかどれだけすごいことなんですか？
Well, it's interesting how amazing. Everybody is so surprised in America. Of course, we in Japan saw him doing this for the Nippon Ham Fighters. He was very good at that for a couple of years. He had big years batting and pitching. But in America, it was an eye-opening experience because until Ohtani, professional baseball around the world believed nobody could be good enough as a pitcher and a hitter to succeed at both. So there was a bias against two-way players and players who had great arms and great bats and great speed were often told, you have to be a pitcher or you have to be a catcher or you have to choose because baseball is too hard. Well, Ohtani proved it's not too hard.
二刀流っていうね、投げれるし打てるっていうところがすごく注目されて、いろんな分野でも二刀流って言われるようになりましたけど、
確かに
大谷選手のおかげで今の野球界だと二刀流を目指す人は増えたんですか？
そうですね。A lot of youth baseball players now. In fact, I heard that in many youth tournaments now in America and Japan, they have a designation for a person who is a pitcher and a person who is a fielder, and then a two-way player is a different designation. So it's very common. I understand actually there's a 13 or 14-year-old boy in Tokyo who can throw. He can throw very hard with both arms.
すごい。右も左も。
And he is, and I hear he's a power hitting switch hitter. But
すごいね。
to give you an idea of how it changed after Ohtani turned professional in Japan, which was as a two-way hitter was kind of an accident because Japan didn't want two-way hitters. They also believed it was impossible.
あ、そうなんですか。
So he became a two-way hitter because America and Japan are completely separate and independent. He was going to go to America as a pitcher out of high school, and he was not going to play in Japan. But the Nippon Ham Fighters said, "We're going to draft you," and then they convinced him to stay in Japan. And one of the ways, but two of the things they did to convince him was they gave him Yu Darvish's number 11. And they said, well, if you want to be a two-way player, we will accommodate you. We will let you try. And the team got a lot of criticism for that. And criticism that lasted until long after Ohtani went to America. People still believed that if he was doing both, he could have been a better pitcher or he could have been a better hitter. Now, he has always said that, he told me in 2017, I asked him about that. He says, I don't care what people think. My belief, they can say that, but there's no proof. I would be a better batter if I stopped pitching, or I would be a better pitcher if I stopped batting. So there's that. But so it was quite an accident. And now people want to do it because of that accident. That Japan and America being different opened the door for a completely it's a wonderful baseball evolution. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. Nobody knew they needed it. And now everybody wants it. Except Japan. So in America, there are a number of two-way players who are becoming professionals as two-way players. But in Japan, there's just two. And with Ohtani's old team, the Nippon Ham Fighters, they have two young two-way players. But other teams have taken very good hitting pitchers and basically said, no. we don't do that in Japan. So it's still, so if there are more, if two-way players become a big thing in Japan, it will be because of Ohtani making it a big thing in America, and then Japan copying America, like a gyaku nyunyu.
逆輸入されて。
でも二刀流でなんか指導するのも練習するのもすごい難しそうです、ね。
Yeah, I asked him once if he learned to become very efficient. Because Japanese practice all the time. You know, the hitters practice all the time at hitting and the pitchers practice all the time at pitching. But he said, no, I just do both. And I'm going, what? But he said it, and because partly he's kind of a physical freak. I mean, he's just so big and strong. He doesn't have any sort of, he didn't used to have any interests outside of baseball. So he used to be, you know, he lived at the fighters' dormitory and he didn't go out. He just trained and slept and had his teammates go get him bentos from the convenience store.
買う時間もなかったぐらい練習ばかりやってた。
Yeah, pretty much. And all winter at the fighters' minor league facility. And so he became, I think the thing about Ohtani is that I think I realized this year what made him so special is not necessarily his physical ability, but if you remember, this year started in March. The Dodgers opened their season in Seoul. And the second day of the season, we learned that his interpreter and best friend had been stealing millions of dollars from him. And I don't know about most people, but if I found out the person I depended on most in my life was stealing all my money, my life would take a step back.
そうですよね。
And Ohtani he barely missed a beat. I think what makes him special is his ability to focus on what he's doing now. You know, if he was upset about Ippei Mizuhara, he was upset about it when that was the time to be upset. When he was focusing on baseball, he was focusing 100%. He has that ability to concentrate, it seems, on only what he's doing. So when he's training, he's only he's not thinking about, you know, where am I going to lunch tomorrow? Who do I have to meet? He's only thinking about, that's the impression I get from him. And I think that's what really allows him to do all these magnificent things. It's maybe his superpower.
なるほどですね。なかなかできないです。
Yeah, and most of us can't do that.
ありがとうございます。そろそろ終わりの時間が来ました。共同通信では共同ニュースプラスというサイトで日本や世界で起きた出来事について英語のニュースを発信しています。今日ご紹介した記事も掲載されていますので、ぜひチェックしてみてください。それでは皆さん、
See you next time!